Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris has now passed the big hurdle in her campaign. She's now completed an unscripted television interview. Critics, though, of Harris have been calling for her to give more insight on her policies. What are they? Now, those include policies she's even changed her stance on, like fracking, electric vehicle mandates, and defunding the police. NewsNation's Libbey Dean is live for us in Washington, D.C. Libbey, you have been looking into this for us. What can you tell us about her new policies?
Well, Kelsey, this was the first time Americans got to hear from Harris since she became the nominee in a setting that wasn't a campaign speech. Obviously, a different setting here in an interview, of course, more pressure. And really, this interview started and it ended with Harris talking about the economy. Of course, a top issue, top of mind issue in every election, and specifically this election. She promised $25 grand for first-time home buyers, price gouging protections, and a child tax credit. Now, in between all of that, Harris spoke about immigration, and she vowed to bring back the bipartisan border bill that she claimed Trump upended. Trump himself, of course, denying that he upended that bipartisan border bill that failed. Kelsey?
Libbey, what more can you tell us about the proposed expansion of the child tax credit?
Well, the interesting thing here, Kelsey, is that these two campaigns, Trump and Vance, and then Harris and Walz, are actually in agreement on a policy, and that is this policy of expanding a child tax credit. Now, as for the nuances here, Harris has vowed a $6,000 child tax credit, while Vance has vowed a $5,000 child tax credit. Trump himself hasn't endorsed that $5,000 tax credit, but has previously said that he would support a child tax credit. Now, this topic, of course, has major appeal to suburban families, and specifically women, a group that voters on both sides, they'll need to win if they want to win this election. And we'll hear more about this, of course, in that upcoming debate. In 10 days, we'll hear more about policy, just like we heard in that interview. Kelsey?
All right, Libbey Dean, we appreciate it. Live from Washington, D.C. Well, with Vice President Kamala Harris's first big sit-down interview now completed, people are starting to digest what exactly did we learn? What did it all mean? Well, one New York Times opinion columnist now calling it vague, vacuous. The Guardian calling the interview much hyped and radically normal. And the Wall Street Journal's editorial board calling her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, an interview crutch. They say it's a deliberate attempt to limit the potential exposure risk for the vice president. Joining me now to break this all down is Republican strategist and former appointment secretary to California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, Timothy Allen Simon. And I'm also joined by Democratic strategist and former Kansas State Representative Raj Goyal. Thank you so much for both of you being here. So, Raj, thank you. So I do want to go ahead and start with you, Raj. There have been several op-eds out there. They've been criticizing Vice President Kamala Harris for not doing television interviews. What do you make of her interview with CNN?
I think she did a great job. And all this beltway chatter about her needing a crutch and so on is just that. The reality is that the Trump campaign and the Republican Party generally is in a meltdown right now because they don't know how to handle this Kamala Harris momentum. And the surge is real. And the reason it's real is that people are connecting with her vision and they understand. I've been on the ballot 3 times. Kelsey, and I've always said that campaigns are job interviews. So the voters are sitting around at their kitchen table and they're saying, who do I want to hire to make a better future for my next 4 years? And the Harris-Walz vision is connecting far more than going back to the divisiveness of Donald Trump. And I'm glad that you mentioned the issue of reproductive freedom. Donald Trump has had a new stance on this issue every 36 hours. I mean, it is an absolute disgrace to watch a former president flip-flop in the wind like this. He's in a complete meltdown. He was a pro-choice Democrat in New York for decades. Then he became a pro-life evangelical. He packs the Supreme Court with a radical bunch of justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. Then he's for states' rights. Then he's for the Florida bill. Then he's against the Florida bill. Then he's for the Florida bill. No one knows what this guy stands for. And so that's why her surge is real. And the best that the Republican Party can do is a bunch of silly softball attacks that are nothing burgers around her interviews. She's doing a great job and she's laying out a great vision. She had a wonderful convention and she's going to continue to wear well with the American people. Last point, on September 10th, they're going to really see a prosecutor take down Donald Trump. She's done it before. She'll do it again. And that's why I think we're going to win in November.
Yeah, of course, a lot of people are going to be watching that debate, but, you know, they both have been flip-flopping a whole lot. You know, Timothy, I want to ask you about Harris says she will not ban fracking, which that's not what she said in the past. Do you think that this shows growth as a candidate, or is it something else? What is it?
I think it shows growth. The New Green Deal was a pipe dream, and I served as a California Public Utilities Commissioner for 6 years. I'm very strong on hydrocarbon and the decarbonization of natural gas assets, and I believe that is where Vice President Harris, someone who I've known and supported since he was district attorney in San Francisco, where I live, she came to the realization, as did climate czar John Kerry.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.